Where to now for the Florida Gators? Lost yesterday to Georgia, 42-20 in a rivalry game, neutral site kind of game. Florida pushed Georgia, especially in that third quarter. We're going to talk about that, but I think we need to kind of take a step back and talk about this Florida program as a whole. Started off the season in a really exciting way with that huge win at home against a top 10 ranked Utah, and you thought maybe year one under Billy Napier might be playing for some really exciting hardware. There's still a lot of exciting things in front of this Florida program, but I just want to do my best to try and put this whole conversation in perspective. What you saw yesterday was the disparity between a program in Georgia that is just quite frankly further along and a program in year one. And Billy Napier, who is really trying to clean up a lot of, in my humble opinion, what Dan Mullen left behind. Georgia and Kirby Smart, they're in their sixth year. They won a national championship last year. They've been at it for a minute. Like we talked about Billy Napier, he's in year one. What it was yesterday, that program as it is, Florida, what it was in between the lines, that's not what it's going to be. And you know that as a Florida fan. I promise you, you know that, you understand that. And I know today hurts. I know today doesn't feel good, but you understand, hey, yesterday under Billy Napier is going to be very, very different than what it is in 3 years when they play Georgia again in this kind of a setting. I'm JD Piquel. This is the Hard Count. Nick Brake does the heavy lifting. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, we'd love to have you do that. Florida Gator Nation, all of you that have subscribed already, thank you so much. We love having you all along for the ride. If you haven't yet, subscribe. Simple as that. Florida still has a top 10 class in the On3 consensus team recruiting rankings. Yes, that's even without Cormani McClain. Billy Napier, Mr. Scared Money Don't Make Money, understands that it is a process that starts with recruiting. They've invested a lot in that. Everyone's seen that team photo of all the people in polos that are now resources essentially to try and get the right personnel into that building in terms of the players, into that building to play for the Florida Gators. Like, there is a process that is occurring in Gainesville. And so to be frustrated by the result is fair, is warranted, is quite frankly expected. You should never be okay with losing, especially to your rival, but it's not what it's going to be. You may even get Anthony Richardson back next year. There was a lot of talk about what he was going to do in terms of how high he was going to be picked. He may still go to the draft, but I think with the nature of how he's played so far this year, you could make the argument, maybe you make some more money if you come back, AR. Maybe you come back, help your draft stock, and cash in a bigger check when you get to the NFL by being a higher draft pick. I'm just saying, it's food for thought, cause for optimism. But I think at the end of the day, my thought is this. You don't get fit, you don't get in shape by just buying a gym membership. You got to show up, got to pay your dues, got to put in the work and get there. And you know this and I know this, but Billy Napier for Florida, quite frankly, is the equivalent for them of that gym membership. They've done the right things. I truly believe they've hired the right guy. I think it'd be way too early to say anything besides wait and see on Billy Napier, but I think they're heading in the right direction from a recruiting standpoint and from a mentality and a persona standpoint, rather, with Billy Napier. I think this program's got the right thing in place. Now, it's a little less proven than some other commodities, but I think you got the right thing in place with Billy Napier. He's proven it for the most part everywhere he's been in terms of being a head coach. Another video for another time. We're not into moral victories. I can't stress that enough. I think there was a real victory, though, for this program in that locker room. And Billy Napier addressed it in his post-game press conference, and he says, I think you saw a turning point. At halftime, I challenged our players. I think you saw a turning point. What really matters, what's between your ears, what's between your left arm and right arm in your chest, your heart. That's what you play the game with. And we're building that. That was a turning point yesterday because it all starts with culture. I don't care if you have 45 5-stars playing all over the field. If you don't have the culture, you don't have the coordinates for your program. And Billy Napier understands that. They're going to get the guys, I promise you. They're going to get the right guys that can absolutely ball in Gainesville. And they're going to be a program, not just a winning team. They're going to be a program for years to come, is my personal belief. However, The culture that's being established right now is the foundation for what's going to happen. They battled back from 28-3 in a situation where you got the defending national champs on the other sideline and a lot of talented guys over there, and maybe there's, some kind of disparity, and Billy Napier didn't address that. It felt that way, especially based on the recruiting rankings over the past few years. I don't want to get too much into that, but Billy Napier, I think he knew that, whether he tells you or not. Georgia had the better players. And for Florida, it would have been easy to tuck tail and say, you know what? It's Georgia. We're not up to the task. We're already down by 3 touchdowns. I mean, let's get out of here. Let's just kind of mail this one in. I didn't see that from anybody yesterday. I don't think you did either. Billy Napier didn't see that. Like I said, he challenged his program, and they responded. When you get challenged, there's 2 things. You can either respond, or you can put your head in your hands and say, Coach is mad at me. I don't want to play anymore. I'm done. For this program to respond in the fashion they did, I think there's a lot of encouraging things to look at on tape. Now, they didn't win the game. We will never excuse that on this program. No such thing as a good loss. No such thing as a bad win. But for Florida, I promise you, what you saw yesterday is the very beginning of some really good things to come in Gainesville. I'll leave it at that. This is The Hard Count. I'm JD Pickell. Nick Brake does the real heavy lifting. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, we'd love to have you all along for the ride. We go live on Tuesday. We go live on Thursday. We talk about all things college football all the time on this channel. It doesn't matter the time of year. So, again, come join the party. Until then, we're going to keep the party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.